I wish Trump had not met with him. I really do.
Same here.
The first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. For nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
The bottom line is that America needs a free press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever. And I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists. But we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news. He is the guy who ushered in alternative facts. He is the guy who attacked 3 Black female journalists. He's the guy that revoked Jim Acosta's press credentials for asking him a question. And so I think that this president-elect, I hate to say it, would like nothing more than to have only Fox News cover him, would like nothing more than a state-sponsored media. And I don't think he can be trusted in the way that other presidents can be trusted. This is an aberration.
But the reality is he doesn't just have Fox News. He didn't do a lot of mainstream media this election, but he went on Joe Rogan and reached 50 million people. Yeah. None of us could talk to Donald Trump again. No mainstream legacy media could. And he's still going to reach the vast majority of this country. So I actually think extremely highly of both Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. I don't think this is opportunistic. I don't think that this is a judgment on their character. I think they recognize 75 million people voted for this guy. He will be in power short of something, an impeachment for the next 4 years. So where can we make some changes on the margins? My first day, if I could say real quick,
okay.
My first day in the Trump White House working for Pence was the day of the Las Vegas shooting. Donald Trump worked with Congress to ban bump stocks. The Supreme Court later overturned it. One small thing like that could save lives. I'm not going to say I don't want to change anything if I have to acknowledge that this person exists and speak to him. I'd like to have marginal change.
Wow.
Look, somebody in the chat said Sonny is the devil. Sonny is the devil's wife, and the devil sent her up here because he can't stand her. All right.
She had to leave.
She contradicted herself by saying, "Hey, Trump only wants to be interviewed by Fox News. Why the hell he take the meeting with the 2 from MSNBC? If that were true, okay, those 2 are so transparent in the fact. I have met meth addicts that have more integrity than those 2. Okay, it's just a shameless attempt to hold on to their jobs because they know that the jig is up. People aren't watching your crap, anymore. Your ratings are cratering, and they just wanted that. Trump, I disagree with him. I would have told both. I'd have said, "Hey, give me that phone." Joe, Mika, you both on? Kiss my black ass. And then I would have hung up, and that would have been the end of that.
He's too nice. He's too forgiving. He should not have given them anything. Not even a hello would I have given Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough.
I'm not going to save your career. Right.
Bottom feeders.
I don't know. I think I'd like to see them come crawling in on their belly. I think that does it for me. But I know from just the couple of times that I've had the great pleasure, he is a very positive person. So he's looking for ways to bring the country together. He realizes not everybody in this nation voted for him, but he does want to have support. Now, he gets that legacy media is never going to be his friend. He realizes that, and that's why he didn't do a bunch of legacy media during the election cycle. However, Joe Scarborough used to be a fairly decent person.
Used to be
a fairly decent person. The problem is that, he's been drinking a lot of Kool-Aid, and, probably giving him a little bit of the heartburn, especially with MSNBC allegedly being up for sale, and they can't sell it because the ratings are in the tank. I think they were at like a 695 when they should be somewhere up around 9. So it's a long drop to the bottom. And if me and my wife were on the show together, me and my husband on the show together, somebody got to keep, the kids fed. Somebody's got to make sure the dog's got a house. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about, though. Trump does not need them. They need him for ratings.
Really.
And so what has happened is the election where he wasn't close, he won in a landslide. Now these media, mainstream media, legacy media people are saying, wait a minute, I can't play the racial grip. That's not going to get me the ratings anymore. I can't continue to talk about Trump. Most of the country voted for him. I got to get on the good foot. Even Alyssa Farah, who was always talking about how much she hated Trump on The View, now even she's trying to push back at the other hens now. Not because she's changed any thinking or something, a light bulb went off. Yeah. She sees the gravy train.
Absolutely.
These people are trash. They are such trash.
She saw the gravy train to get on the show in the first place. When it benefits, there's this, some people are just slimy. When there's a chance to make a few bucks and it means that you have to damage somebody else's reputation, there are people who are just jackasses and they take that opportunity. They have no integrity, sitting under the hot lights and having your name in a bar underneath your chin, doing somebody's show, being a talking head. If that's the way you pay your bills, you're going to blow whichever way the wind blows.
And nobody likes that.
Exactly. Nobody likes a traitor.
They're in the amount of opportunities in that business is very, very slim because you've only got a few networks. Okay. They're only passing out so many multi-million-dollar checks. And the greatest thing of all is that shows like this, Poppin' Politics, is eating their lunch. People are taking this platform much more seriously than they are these stuffed shirts. And you better believe that these executives are looking at shows like Poppin' Politics and saying, hey, wait a minute now. There ain't no $1 million set, okay? There's no multi-million-dollar production budget here, but they still reaching people. And we paying Anderson Cooper $20 million. Believe me, they are
to go where the wind blows.
Well, listen, they're gonna get Don Lemon. That's what's gonna happen. They will get Don Lemon, and they'll be recording out of their kitchen just like he does. The problem is, what happens when the echo chamber collapses? And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the echo chamber starting to collapse. One thing that you can say about Joe Scarborough, regardless of where he falls politically, he is a very smart man. He's incredibly bright. The problem with that is I think that he overplayed his hand when he went, Trump is a Nazi, Trump is a this, Trump is a that. But he also believed the Democrat Party, the DNC, when they said there's no way that he can beat her. God awful Donald Trump, and she's a woman of color, and Joy and Brad Summer and all this other stuff, and Oprah's behind her. There's no way that she could lose. She lost bigly, as Trump would say. Bigly she lost, and now they're all scrambling for cover. They're scrambling.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work because people smell the fakeness on them. They do. And this is why people are running to programs like ours, like Joe Rogan, who are authentic. You come from a place of really trying to find the truth, of curiosity. And that's what it is. we're not trying to, push. I mean, we are on the right. We are on the right. But if I'm searching for the truth and it leads me elsewhere, I'm going to talk about it.
Where it goes, right?
I'm going to talk about it.
But you can do that because we're not beholden to the defense industry, the Wall Street, the pharmaceutical industry. We're not beholden to them in terms of these advertising dollars that, they're giving these media operations. I'm not taking orders from BlackRock. All right. When I go on Soldiers of Finance, we talk about what I want to talk about.
Exactly.
Okay. And the audience, this is the other big thing right here tonight. We're getting all of these chats come in here. We're not talking at people. We're talking with people. People have an opportunity to have their say and opine. And you know what? There's going to be somebody out there that says, hey, YouTube's free. Let me open up my own. Let me say what I got to say. Okay. The news media, the legacy news media has forsaken their public trust, and it is time for them to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Guys, if you value platforms like ours over Morning Joe and CNN and all those, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button because it helps to increase our reach. It helps to push us up because you believe it or not, unfortunately, there is a remnant, I should say, of people that still watch MSNBC, still watch Morning Joe and shows like that, and they're liking. So hit that like button, please.